Okay, guys. So we got the door panel off on the driver door panel off on the Audi Q8. And now we're going to take off the mirror. So for whatever reason you're doing that for. So right here, you can see it's got this cover on here. And to take this cover off, there is a T20 kind of elongated screw right here. So we got to take that out. So lefty loosey, pop that out, and it's pretty small, held on there. And so we're just gonna set that down on the floor right there so we know exactly where it is. And from that point, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer. Now this thing is kind of held on by a kind of like a groove or a clamp type thing to where it's sticking up. So what you wanna do is you wanna just pull up on it, kind of how I just did. And that teeth thing that I was just telling you about is right there. And that sits right here into this little thing. So you can imagine when you go put it back on, you have to slide it back down and make sure it's snug. So you just got to pull up on that. So again, set that down right there. And now in here we have, I believe these are, let me double check real quick before I give you guys the wrong thing. These are T30s. So we're going to be switching to this little hand crank tool right here. And so obviously you can see the two from right here. 1, 2, and then there's a third one right behind this little flap right here, if you can see it. So let's go ahead and get those out the way. And obviously these are on here tight, so just be kind of aware of that. Set that on the floor. Now, preferably you would want 2 people kind of doing this, but I'll kind of show you guys how you want to do it by yourself. Pop these little flaps out. They're just on held in by these little rubber tabs right here, so you can easily get your hand in there. And you can be the judge. I mean, you guys know how tight these screws are. And if it's your first time doing it, obviously have somebody there with you. If you've done this before, you'll kind of know what kind of like that point that I call it a breaking point, but you'll kind of know what that point is. And so I'm gonna grab the mirror with this hand. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it right there just real quick, just so I can kind of scoot you guys back. Now, when you kind of get to this point right here, you can do this step beforehand or after. I typically do it afterwards, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So obviously the mirror is full of technology and it runs in this wire down here. That's why it has these green, little tabs right here. So what we're gonna do is just gonna pop those out, because when the mirror comes off, these have to come with it. Plastic prying tool, pop these off here, and then you want to find where those wires lead to, and then you want to just lift up on that red tab, give it a little wiggle, and you can see the whole thing comes out. Now we're going to get back to doing this T25. T30, I think. So we've got that out pretty much. And so now that the mirror's ready to come off, so what we got to do is we got to push these in kind of. So it should hold there in place. This doesn't get taken out very much, so we should be good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of wiggle this up. we're gonna use the help of our prying tool to kind of push this seal down into this hole, because like I said, this whole piece has to come out. All right, set that down for a little bit, kind of wiggle the light, and bam, feed these through there. Try not to break those green clips. You don't want the customer to hear rattling on the inside of the door. And this is where it becomes hard, because this square piece going into a round hole, there's not really one type of way that works for this. You just got to figure out, you know, twisting it, turning it, keeping it going to one way. Don't really pull on the other end. Just focus solely on pushing on this end, because you don't want to pop out any wires. And then once you push that through, bam, then you have the side mirror out. And that's how you do that.